Hey, parents, out of all the sleep challenges and sleep disorders our kids could go through, night terrors might be the most alarming, concerning, and honestly perplexing and confusing condition a child can go through when they're struggling with their sleep. Now, most of the time, when our kids have a health challenge, a sleep challenge, whatever it may be, we're going to talk to the pediatrician first, right? And we're going to ask them, hey, this is happening. What is it? What's causing it? Should I be concerned with it? Still today, most of the time, pediatricians, medical system is going to dismiss night terrors as, don't worry about it. They'll grow out of it. It's harmless. It's no big deal. We don't really know what's going on. But as pediatric chiropractors who focus on the nervous system, we always take a different approach and a different perspective than the standard pediatrician. We are obsessed with finding the root cause of everything, whether it's night terrors, whether it's colic, whether it's ear infections, whether it's sensory processing disorder. A couple of things which you'll learn are clinically and neurologically correlated to night terrors as we go through and break down the connections to conditions later on in life with kids during this video. But the truth is, for parents, oftentimes that answer just doesn't cut it. Don't worry about it. They'll grow out of it. Not when they're waking up night after night, full of fear, full of anxiety, just very intense episodes of these night terrors that you can't shake them out of. It's totally different than a nightmare, as we'll show you here in a second. And so parents, this video is for you. If your child is still having these challenges during the toddler or the early childhood stages, and you know what? For so many families, these sleep issues persist. They just change name and change form later on. So if your child has been struggling to sleep, then your whole family is struggling to sleep, and you're probably done with it. You're probably exhausted, literally, from this challenge, and you want to get to the other side. So stick with us through this video. We'll break down the root cause, we'll break down the science, and most importantly, we'll give you some drug-free action steps that will allow you to find out how to switch your child's nervous system back into rest, digest, and sleep through the night side of the nervous system, or mode of the nervous system, as we'll show you here in a second. This video is for you if you're done with night terrors and you want to get to the other side of them for your child and your family. So first thing to know about night terrors is they're definitely different than nightmares. So night terrors are these intense episodes of fear and anxiety and just tons of challenges for the child that happen during non-REM sleep. Now, we won't get so nerdy with all the different sleep categories and everything. In fact, we're going to make this wildly simple for you to understand. But sleep is essential for everyone. Sleep is an unbelievably essential for a growing, developing child's brain and nervous system. So getting them through the right phases of sleep and into the right stage of sleep every single night is crucial. So sleep can really be broken down into not just quantity, but quality of sleep. And night terrors are a sure sign that a child is not progressing through the proper stages or phases of sleep and getting into that deep REM sleep where we need them to be to fully rest, recharge, and rebuild their brain every single night as they go forward. So that's the first thing to know, is that when you understand night terrors, you know that it's a significant sign that sleep is off kilter, and sleep, the good, healthy, quality sleep for your child, is being disrupted. So that is why it's not something they just grow out of. It's not something that is just harmless. When you really understand the brain and the nervous system to the level that we do as neurologically focused chiropractors, and that's what makes us different than the pediatrician. Pediatricians track symptoms, treat diseases, and they look at the body through more of a genetic and a chemistry lens, instead of really understanding that the brain, the central nervous system, and the autonomic nervous system are the keys to the health and function of everything for your child. So because sleep is so important to the nervous system's function and development, we're pretty darn well obsessed with every single child getting full, adequate, high quality of sleep, not having things like colic when they're an infant, not having night terrors when they're a toddler. And that's when they typically show up. Age 2 to 6 is when you'll see most of these night terrors. So let me jump over here to the iPad and show you a really simple visual as to what's happening with night terrors and honestly sleep disorders in kids overall. So very, very simple graph here we're looking at. The way the brain and the nervous system works is it's got two different modes of function, okay? The brake pedal side of the nervous system is the side of the nervous system in charge of exactly what we're talking about and want more of with this video, the rest and digest system. So really, sleep happens when the brain and the central nervous system are shifted into what's called parasympathetic rest digest mode. A very important nerve that we talk about a lot with our practice and our PX Docs network is called the vagus nerve, which regulates so much of our sleep, our digestion, our immune function, our socialization, communication, behavioral, and emotional regulation. In fact, we can already draw that correlation here. Children who struggle with sleep have a much higher clinical correlation to neurosensory, neurobehavioral, neuroemotional, and developmental challenges later on. Because if the brain isn't getting enough sleep, it's not spending enough time in parasympathetic mode and function to properly calm, regulate, and develop. So here's what happens. During the day, we are naturally, so if we call this halfway, right? So if we say the gas versus brake pedal here within your child's brain and body is basically like a pendulum or like the RPM tack on your car, naturally, normally, every single one of us is a little bit more moved or kind of idling and operating towards the gas pedal during the day. We're up, they're moving, they're playing, they're doing the things they're supposed to do. When sleep happens, and again, this is a very simple description of how sleep works, as the nervous system begins to unwind, so at night, in the evening, there's things called circadian rhythms, which are run by the nervous system and this whole thing we're talking about. And the child's brain and sensory nervous system, ours too, is supposed to pick up on, hey, it's time to wind down. It's time to slow down. So start thinking about this pendulum making its way over here towards the parasympathetic brake pedal. And to keep it really simple, there is 2 lines in the proverbial neurological sand here that child needs to cross. Number 1 is get to sleep, and number 2 is getting into deep sleep. But what happens is so many kids had stressful pregnancy, which is when the brain and nervous system are first developing. They maybe had forceps, vacuum, emergency C-section, induction births, and then they were colicky and fussy and ear infections and reflux and constipation, and just that really wound up, hard to soothe baby that doesn't grow out of colic, but grows into these challenges later on. So what happens is even during the day, they're too far over here. So their nervous system, and what this looks like during the day is frequent meltdowns and tantrums, neurological delays, motor milestone issues, chronic ear infections. If a child is too stressed out during the day, they're too far over here to start with, that when they try to go to sleep, it takes forever because the gap to get there is bigger. And then even once they get to sleep, they don't stay asleep. They sleep for 2 to 3 hours. They're restless. They're moving. They're waking up with the night terrors, with all the challenges. They're coming into your room. They struggle to sleep. So what we call these kiddos are what we lovingly call raging bull kiddos, fight or flight. Later on, that turns into ADHD, anxiety, autism spectrum disorders, when their nervous system is stuck on the gas pedal, sympathetic fight or flight system too much. That's the arousal system. They struggle to get to sleep. They struggle to fall asleep, and they struggle to get into that deep REM quality of sleep. And that is the root cause of night terrors. That is the root cause not only of these sleep challenges, but everything else that comes downstream as well. So if you have tried every other coping strategy with night terrors, you've tried the white noise machines, you've tried the soothing environments, you've tried the chamomile tea, you've tried magnesium and melatonin and lavender and essential oils and everything under the sun to help your child get to sleep easier, stay asleep easier, and not have these night terrors and sleep disorders, there may be one very foundational thing missing, and that could be that if they had those early stressors, the pregnancy, the delivery, the colicky sort of challenges early on in life, it's very likely that their nervous system is shifted into this excessive, sustained fight or flight overdrive all day, every day. And that neurological that foundation of stress stuck in their brain, stuck in their nervous system is the number one thing causing them to struggle with sleep, and probably so many other things with behavior, with development, with emotions, with the list goes on, challenges either right now in life, or a lot of kids grow into these challenges instead of out of these things that the pediatrician too often dismisses. So if you think that these challenges, this nervous system just kind of overfiring and wiring there could be what's going on with your kiddo, then click the link here in this post or in our bio if you're watching it on Instagram or somewhere else, and read the whole article about night terrors in kids. Within that article, you'll see even more articles about natural sleep solutions and sleep remedies for kids. Our website is full of information to help your child's nervous system get back onto the brake pedal, get back into balance, get back to full, restful, high quality sleep every single night. And once you get the child's nervous system back regulated, back balanced, and back functioning the way it's supposed to, guess what starts to fade away? All these different challenges that you absolutely want to get to the other side of it. All the information on our website will help you find exactly how to do that. And if that information ends up being exactly what you're looking for your child, then send us a DM, reach out to us or your local PX docs that you find on the website through our directory, and schedule a consultation and an exam with one of our docs or with our office right away, because we can find that stress. We use some incredible technology in the office called the Insight scans, which can actually measure, hey, is that sympathetic nervous system too wound up? And is the brake pedal and vagus nerve shut down? Once you see those scans, you will see, oh man, this is what's been going on the whole time. And then we can sit down and give you a personalized, customized care plan for your child to make these light, gentle, easy, sleep turning back on adjustments. And it makes so much change for so many families. In fact, improvements in sleep are the number one reported benefit to chiropractic care for kids and adults, and the whole family. Always have been, always will be, because like we talked about in this video, sleep is essential to the function of the brain and the nervous system, and the brain and the nervous system are essential to every function and everything to do with the health of your child. So the way God designed us is the nervous system is everything, which means sleep is everything, which means if you've tried everything else out there and your child still struggles with night terrors and sleep disorders, then Neurologically-Focused Pediatric Chiropractor is probably that exact answer you've been up late at night, pun intended, Googling and searching for. So I'm glad you found this video. Please like, please comment, please share if this helped you out, and we'll see you either in our office or celebrate you finding your local PX doctor through our website, through our directory. God bless, be well.